For years and years and years now, Senator Elizabeth Warren has been saying that Powell should not be the Fed chair.
Look, I don't think he should be chairman of the Federal Reserve. I have said it as publicly as I know how to say it. I've said it to everyone.
That was then. Now that Trump wants Powell out, Warren defends Powell. Watch this.
I disagree with Jerome Powell on policy. I've made no secret of that. I'm quite open and quite public about it. For Donald Trump to try to fire Jerome Powell will crash our markets, and he needs to stop this nonsense. You know, the idea of getting out there, maybe he will, maybe he won't. He may think that's fun because he gets lots of attention, but the underlying reality is that undermines our entire financial system, and it makes us the laughingstock around the world.
Really? The laughingstock around the world? Very interesting. Economist Brian Wesbury is with us this morning. Look, I got a big picture question for you. Should we have a Federal Reserve that does what the president tells it to do?
Well, that's a good question, but let me go here first. If Trump walked on water, Elizabeth Warren would say that proves he can't swim.
I heard that joke a long time ago.
Yes, exactly. And so I don't care what she said. The Federal Reserve, if you look throughout history, all central banks should be independent from politicians. I mean, this goes back to the Romans. However, it's a myth that they have been independent. I mean, go back to the 1970s. Richard Nixon was all over Burns and Martin, getting them to do what they want. And I really think today's problems for the Fed, Trump going after them, they caused. Because back in 2008, with Ben Bernanke and quantitative easing, the Federal Reserve became unindependent. They started funding government spending with quantitative easing. And so the Treasury and the Fed are closer together and more intertwined today than they have ever been in the history of this country. And at the same time, interest rates are too high. President Trump is absolutely right. Inflation's low. They should be cutting rates. Powell did before the election. To me, that was a political rate cut before the election, and now he won't. And I think a lot of this has to do with politics.
Let me throw this at you, and you're not expecting this, but I'm hearing a lot about it in the background. What if Scott Bessent was both the Treasury Secretary and the Fed chair? Unite those roles. I've heard this talked about a lot recently. What do you make of that?
I would not before that. What's happened, quantitative easing, Stuart, we could talk about this all day. We could have a conference about it. But quantitative easing, when the Federal Reserve prints money to buy bonds, that's basically modern monetary theory. And that always leads to inflation. And the good news is we stopped doing that 3 years ago. We've done quantitative tightening now. Slowly but surely, the Fed is dropping its bond holdings, but the Fed is too big. And I think if you made the Treasury Secretary the chairman of the Fed, we would have modern monetary theory forever into the future. And that's why Bitcoin is up. That's why gold is $3,300 an ounce, because the markets are fearful that the Federal Reserve has lost control of its ability to control inflation.
20 seconds. Have you any doubts that within the next 2 months, interest rates will be cut by the Fed?
I think they will be cut because they should be cut. Right. Inflation this year, CPI, core CPI, PPI, core PPI, all of them are 2% or lower. Interest rates should be lower than they are today.
And it will be a nice kick in the market, or kick to the market, I should say, if they did that.
Yeah, the market's already overvalued, but when the Fed cuts rates, it's going to get more overvalued.
Oh, okay, that's nicely put. Brian Wesbury, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it. Coming up.